What's up? And welcome back to another kind of funny town hall update meeting, showcase,
Symposium.
presentation, symposium. That's great. That's what I'm going to go with. Of
Symposium's
course,
a great word.
Symposium. That
it
sounds
is.
fancy.
It is. I'm Tim Geddes. I'm joined by it's Christmas in September. Joey Noel.
Good morning, afternoon, whatever time it is. I've been up
Yeah.
I got up really early this morning to work on a bunch of stuff. So now I feel like I have the whole day ahead of me. Does that mean I'm going to fall asleep at 8 p.m.? Definitely.
No,
Hey, live your
Joey,
best
you have
life,
plans
Joe.
What if you stay up
tonight.
late and you do some Destiny, Joey?
Oh, we could play more Destiny. You've convinced me. I'll have more coffee.
Thank you.
Rounding out the group as well, we have the big daddy, Greg Miller.
I'm still hurting for a yurtin. Watch our She-Hulk reaction over on youtube.com/kindafunny, everybody.
Yeah, go check it out. Screencast, of course, popping off right now. But we're talking about a whole bunch of other fun stuff today. Isn't that right, Joey Noel?
We are. There's a lot. We wanted to talk about some of this stuff ahead of October when a lot of things are going to be changing for us. And that way it was a more focused stream as opposed to like trying to do this and all of the exciting studio stuff, separate it a little bit and get some stuff out to you guys.
Because, I know a lot of people have been here since day one. A lot of people have been here since, day 3002. But there's a lot of people that haven't been around that long. So they might not know that normally, Greg, in Kind of Funny history, there's this thing called Kind of Funny Day that is January 5th, right? Originally 2015 when we first left IGN. That is usually the day that we make a bunch of programming announcements, changes to our Patreons, all the nitty-gritty update stuff. The big thermometer, all of that, right? And we kind of like fund the next year, like get some creative ideas going and all of that. But because of the pandemic and because of the situation we've been in recently, we've had to push that back. So we didn't do a Kind of Funny Day this year in January. We're like, we're going to do it when the studio launches. And here we are getting to
We didn't do
October.
one last year either, right?
No, we didn't. We did a different thing, but here we are. The studio is happening in just a couple weeks. October 14th. We're doing our full day marathon live stream, hanging out with you guys, having a ton of fun. But because this studio is as cool as we know it to be, and you guys are about to see very, very soon. But while we wait to reveal that to everybody, we're like, let's get a lot of the nitty gritty best friend specific stuff out of the way. The stuff that like you guys care a lot about, but we don't know that all the new eyes on us are going to care about. We're going to save that for more fun, for more excitement. This is the fun, exciting stuff that's just for you. The beautiful 1,800 people watching right now on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We appreciate you so very much. Isn't that right, Greg?
It is. We do appreciate you, and we're happy you've shown up for what used to be annually, but we'll call it annually again. The annual What Will Tim Kill Now? This, of course, is when Tim comes in, throws his weight around, and says, you know what? Boom, KFAF dead. Oration dead. Gary Whitta, off to the moon with you.
Off to the moon. That's the thing, right? That's where we make all the updates and changes to what we did this time to keep it concise. And like you're going to hear this multiple times throughout the day today. There's a lot of information here, and there's a lot of little changes happening. So if you guys could do us a huge favor, and if you see people asking questions that you know the answer to because you watched the video we're about to show you, let them know the answer. Fill them in. The more you know. Let's zombie this information. All right. I need you to learn the information, bite people with the information, and then it'll spread. It'll spread. That's how it works.
That is a way to do it.
I think now would be a good time to start the video. Do you guys feel good about that?
I do feel good
so
about
we're gonna watch a video, everybody. This is gonna be your presentation. All right, take notes. Again, you will have to go be our disciples and spread this information to everybody else. You might say, well, there's no way one video can contain all the information. That's correct. That's why we're all gonna watch the audio visual presentation Kevin's made for you, and then we will hang out here and answer questions that are going off there in the chat. And yes, I do need someone to make the audio soundbite of when Tim went through puberty saying "but" in the very beginning of this.
Little Peter Brady action. All right, I appreciate you, Greg. They always keep me on my toes. Kev, you ready? You ready for this?
Yep.
Let's do it.
In just a couple of weeks, Kinda Funny will be taking by far our biggest step yet when we debut the Spare Bedroom, the new Kinda Funny studios.
We're celebrating the reveal with an all-day marathon live stream starting at 10 a.m. Pacific on Friday, October 14th on both twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames, and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, featuring all of KindaFunny together for the first time in almost 3 years, as well as tons of special guests, including Carl Jacobs, James and Elise Willems, Cisco, and many more.
We know we're about to have more eyes on us than ever. So before we get to the biggest day in KindaFunny history, we wanted to give you all some really exciting updates on how our schedule, programming, and Patreon are all gonna work moving forward. All with the goal of making it as simple and easy as possible for y'all to support us wherever and however you prefer to support. Let's start with the big one.
Going forward, KindaFunny Games Daily and our daily gameplay streams will be live on both twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. If you can't catch them live, both will be available after as VODs on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. We're in the process of getting all the Twitch emotes over to YouTube as well, so you can use them with YouTube memberships and super chats.
And if that wasn't big enough, we have some huge news for Patreon that you've all been waiting for.
We're officially combining the function of both patreon.com/KindaFunny and patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames into one simple offering. Going forward, there will be 3 main tiers that get you all KindaFunny and KindaFunny Games content in one place, with either page getting you the exact same things.
The $10 tier is ad-free and live show recordings. This gets you ad-free audio and video versions of the KindaFunny podcast, KindaFunny Games Daily, Gamescast, PS I Love You XOXO, Xcast, In Review, and Screencast. And it allows you to watch live as we record the episodes.
The $25 tier is exclusive bonus shows. In addition to ad-free and live recordings, this tier gets you exclusive access to our awesome new suite of bonus content, including multiple monthly, weekly, and daily exclusive shows. Each month, you will get a new episode of the KindaFunny Next Gen podcast with Blessing, Roger, and Barrett, and a new episode of KFAMA, with 2 members of the KF crew answer whatever questions you throw at them.
Each week, you will get a new episode of The Shit List, where Blessing and Tim go over lists from the internet and judge them. A new episode of Kinda Feudy, the hit sensation game show featuring the Gamescast crew, and 2 new episodes of Remember Blank, a new show where each week someone brings an old game to the table to reminisce about it. Finally, we are extremely excited to announce Greg Way, the daily Greg Miller vlog.
That's right. Each and every weekday, me, Greg Miller, will be doing a vlog for 5 minutes about whatever it is I want to talk about. Sometimes I'll go off the questions you asked from the last vlog. Sometimes I'll just rant. I'm thinking I bought a little car mount where I think I'm going to put it in the car. That way, like, when I'm driving to the office, I can do it. But, like, not illegal, I'm going to get a car accident away, but maybe I get in a car accident. Don't you want to see that?
And at the exclusive bonus shows tier, a lot of people have been asking for an easier way to find all of the old Kinda Feudy episodes, so we uploaded all of them to one post on Patreon, so you can go support and get all of the old episodes in one place right now. The final main tier is the $50 premium collector's item. This tier gets you every show ad-free with live recordings, all the exclusive bonus shows, and a monthly physical collector's item like an art print or a t-shirt.
We have something super special planned for October, but we're waiting to reveal that until we reveal the studio. We wanted to make sure we explained what is happening to the old tiers we're getting rid of. The $5 tier is going away because now participation and questions for shows will be available free to everyone. No Patreon required. And anyone currently at the $1 tier will be grandfathered in to still get a new Kinda Funny AMA each month.
Now let's talk programming. The biggest scheduling change is, starting now, In Review will record live for Patreon supporters Friday afternoon and then post the following Monday. This will allow each weekday to have its own new show dropping at 6 a.m. Pacific for you to watch or listen to, with In Review on Monday, KF Podcast on Tuesday, Xcast on Wednesday, Gamescast on Thursday, and PS I Love You XOXO on Friday.
To wrap this up, we wanted to ask you for your help spreading the word for some answers to questions people are going to be asking in the next few weeks. It's very difficult to get the nitty-gritty details out there to everyone. So, if you all could help us by answering these frequently asked questions, if you see them pop up, it would be very helpful.
One small change is for now, we will no longer be uploading to the Kinda Funny Plays YouTube channel. And now all KF streams will be uploaded to the main youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames channel, where it'll also be live streaming in addition to Twitch. A lot is changing, so please be patient with us as we figure this new world out with the changes to where we're live streaming, our Patreon offerings, and of course, the new studio. The next couple weeks will have modified schedules as we get ready for launch.
Specifically, there will be no new content October 11th through the 13th. Expect growing pains. I cannot stress this enough.
In addition to this, because Kevin is going to be so involved in production at the studio, he is going to be retiring from being a regular cast member of In Review. Of course, he will always be welcome to join whenever he wants to.
But for now, his jersey is going to the rafters. Joss Whedon. Oof, that was not the note.
Next up, the Kinda Funny Live studio launch party is indefinitely postponed, and the event on October 14th is not open to the public. Our goal is 100% to throw awesome live events in the spare bedroom, but we aren't quite ready for that yet. Also, we will be doing the KF Up-and-Comers, the basketball event, an episode of Cooking with Jen, and the Winging It with Greg and Josh pilot all next year, thanks to your support on the KF Day thermometer back in 2020 and that whole global pandemic thing.
Speaking of the Kinda Funny Day thermometer, any new or upgraded supporter on Patreon in the month of October will go towards the thermometer we're debuting during the October 14th launch stream. So, no worries about having to wait. We will just start the stream with a head start towards our goals.
We know this is a lot to take in, but the most important takeaway is how excited we are for you all to see the spare bedroom. Between streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, simplifying our Patreon to be the best it's ever been, and launching the new studio, there has never been a better time to be a Kinda Funny best friend. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything.
And we'll see you.
And we will see you on October 14th.
The longest too.
But, Joe, you don't count the one. You don't count the one.
But even if you counted the 1 and the 0, it was still a little off. I know you have a lot going on, Kevin. I'm not. I just thought it was funny.
I had to manually switch it. I didn't test the timer out, so
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. There you have it, everybody. All the announcements that we're making, they're out there. They're good. A lot of positive stuff. I'm excited because, every once in a while there's like, you got to be the bearer of bad news or news that people aren't going to be stoked about.
Tim Reaper.
This is the Tim Reaper. Exactly. This is one of those times that me and Joey were like working on all this. And it was like, wait a minute. This is just dope. This is all just dope stuff.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. I truly can't believe that we're getting a daily Greg Miller 5-minute vlog. It's going to be great for the inevitable Descent into Madness documentary that we do someday. We're like, we have daily
so much
footage.
B-roll now for you. You don't need to worry about that at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And when does all this go into effect, Tim, and start?
It goes into effect next Monday, y'all. This is starting next week. So yeah, starting next on Monday, Games Daily and our daily streams will be live on both youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames and twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. So that's exciting. And if it was a little unclear, we're not going to be uploading to the Kinda Funny Plays channel, but that content will still now just be uploaded to the Kinda Funny Games YouTube channel. So you're not losing any content. It's just going to be in a different place. Less places to keep track of.
Yeah,
so
there's 2 YouTube channels now, and obviously the awesomeness of the fact that since we're live streaming it at the same time, it'll when the show ends, the archive's there rather than having to wait to be uploaded later or stuff like. And obviously, there's more people subscribed, so we have a bigger audience and stuff for that. It's great news.
Yeah, and people have talked about for like years that like either Twitch is blocked at work, so they can't listen, or YouTube's blocked. So now you guys don't have to make a choice. You can do whatever your work doesn't block.
Yep, exactly.
However you can get around your company's firewall, that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Tim, the main thing I saw, not the main thing. Obviously, you guys have been fantastic. We were watching the chat, lots of love, lots of people loving it. I'm happy about that. That's great. The thing I saw what does this do to post shows? So what is happening with post shows?
Yeah, so post shows, we're getting rid of the idea of post shows being attached to the content itself. And so now the post show content is going to be released as standalone pieces of content that we're calling exclusive bonus content. So it's the same ideas of the shows, but they're going to be more easy to find. I think that's kind of the biggest reasoning for this is we've been doing the surveys on Patreon and public of what people liked about our Patreon, didn't like about our Patreon, like all that stuff. And something that me and Joey saw a lot was how many people wanted to find the exclusive content, but were having trouble finding it all in one place, or like having to go to the end of different episodes to get stuff that they've already listened to in other places. It was just causing problems. So this way, all the exclusive stuff will be, go for it.
It's the thing you call out right in the video, right? Of how many people love Kind of Feudy, but you tell somebody about new Kind of Feudy and they have to go find every Gamescast and then scrub to the end and do the whole thing. Obviously, you're putting up a post right now that contains all the Kind of Feudies, which is great. But if you loved Kind of Feudy, you are still getting Kind of Feudy each and every week. It's just a standalone video on its own on that $25 feed.
Also, that part of the video might have been a lie because that might have been the one thing I forgot to finish before we did this. So the post will be up as soon as we finish this with all the Kind of Feudies. But
yeah, so that's that is the big thing is we said this in video, but Cool Greg went back and re-edited out every single Kind of Feudy we've done so far, and sometime later today, Joey will have it all in one post. So if anyone wants to pop on right now and support at the exclusive bonus content level, you will have one post with all of the Kind of Feudies, and I highly recommend you check them out because they're fantastic content.
People are asking what's happening to the Kind of Funny Plays channel, which it's just gonna live there.
It's just going to live there for now. I mean, it's been awesome. You guys have supported it so much in the last 2 years. I think we've been doing it, which is wild. Maybe
That's
a year.
crazy.
I don't know. I know. But it's over 20,000 subscribers. So it's like, it's great. It's just, this is a better way to do it. And
it's
as
just
always,
a
Kind of Funny
message. Like, right,
exactly.
I think the big summary of this, and as we move to the spare bedroom, right, is the idea of like, how do you onboard a new person? And this is something we've talked about in the Kind of Funny podcast I've been, gathering for so long. The thing of like, if a new Kind of Funny fan was gonna be there, what would you talk to them about? What would you show them, right? And just the messaging gets so clunky. Of all right, it'll be up. You're watching Games Daily, and the archive will be up on YouTube. But when you watch it on Twitch, but the archive will be up on YouTube, and then it's also on Roost Streets, but then it's also a podcast, and then after this is gonna be a stream on Twitch, but not on YouTube. But if you want to see it on YouTube, it's not gonna be on the ability to say that everything's streaming to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, and every archive of what we stream lives on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames is so much easier, right? Yeah. I'm just like, after this, the boys are streaming more Destiny 2. If you catch it, you can catch it on youtube.com. I don't even have to say, you catch it live or on demand on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Just done.
And yeah, that's the thing with this is like the goal for Kind of Funny is always for us to meet people where they are and like do things in the way that makes the most sense possible. Sometimes that can be difficult for the amount of content that we make and like trying to find parity across all the different platforms and figuring out the right workflow for pre-production, production, post-production, getting things uploaded. Like there's a lot of factors at play. So for the last couple of years, we always kind of try to optimize where we're at. What are we doing? What should we be doing more of, less of, all that stuff? And then we make the decisions based on that. I think that this time in particular is extremely about how do we make this as simple as possible? We're going to have new people watching us. How can we make it that our content speaks for itself and people can understand where to get it, how to get it? And so that's why we're streaming multiple places. We're where people expect us to be for the different content we're making. And on the Patreon side of things, cleaning that up to be as simple as possible. And this is a perfect example of what I'm saying. Even this being as simple as possible is still kind of confusing if you get into the nitty gritty of it all. I see a lot of questions in the chat and people talking about the Patreon stuff. The way that the Patreon's going to work is Patreon.com.
Pause for a second, because this is what we're talking about too, right? Twitch is automatically running an ad right now. So we're in an ad break and everybody's like, whoa, wait. I say we just chill for 1 minute and 16 seconds. You know what I mean? What LaCroix are you drinking over there right now, Timmy?
This is a lemon.
Oh, damn it. We should have guessed the flavor. That would have gotten us easily 30, 40 seconds. Would it have? Really? Now we just sit in silence.
And here's the beauty of it all now. YouTube, you can skippable ads. If we want to watch over there, it's a little bit easier. I got that YouTube Premium because I watch way too many videos.
Oh, she fancy.
People road tripping across the country to go to all of the remaining rainforest cafes.
How many more are left?
There's like 14 or 16, I think.
Would it shock you? I've never been inside a rainforest.
You're missing out.
Never been?
They do like a storm in there, right? Or is it
it's like every 20 minutes.
Is it just the noise or does it mist?
It's noise, and I don't think it's mist like in the grocery
stores. You don't mist on your food. That's my thing. That's where I come down. You know,
I think it's just the noise.
Paper says you lived in Chicago and never went to a Rainforest Cafe. Yeah, that's right. I supported local businesses like Portillo's and Baroni's. All right, get your head out of your ass. Stop chasing the big thing. I'm glad
that Portillo's also a chain.
You know what, Kevin? I'm not going to answer that question. It's a local chain. It was run by Dick Portillo. Now it's got bought by a whole thing, but now I have stock in it, so everybody should eat at Portillo's. We're back. 18 minutes till the next ad break.
Very cool. We're back. So Patreon stuff. So the way it's going to work is the two channels are both going to still exist. They're just going to be completely equitable to each other. So the same exact tiers. Equitable. You only need to support on one. You don't need to support on both. There's no reason to support on both. And if you do support on both right now and you don't want to, you can cancel one of them because you're subscribed on the other. So if you were at the $25 tier before and you want to stay there, you don't need to do anything. You're good. You can just stay. And just the tiers have now changed over. What you get for those support levels will just update starting next week.
MK797 in the chat says, well, why still have both Patreons if they're the same now? And then over, that was a question we pulled aside from the thing, right? Over here, Kebab said, oh, I thought the two Patreons were literally combined into one. Kebabs, that would be great if we could do that. You can't do that. So then MK797,
oh boy, did we try.
What?
I said, oh boy, did we try.
And why still have them if they're the same now? Because we're trying to make this as turnkey and easy for everybody. Whereas if we were like, cool, we're going to have one Patreon and we're turning one of them off, how many people would never click again to support, right? Like I'm very lazy when it comes to clicking on my own links in my email to go do things. And so we're just trying to make it easy where there's just the two Patreons. They have the exact same tiers. They have the exact same content. They're in the exact same places. If you want to let it ride for what it is, go for it. If you need to change it around and do something, go for it. Again, like we've talked about too, obviously we're going to be filling a thermometer. It's not a giant thermometer on October 14th. So if you do any of the changes now leading into October, those are all going to be reflected when we start the stream on the 14th. So you can understand that it'll be there too.
Exactly. Then the other thing people are asking is, are there tiers above the top three or the three tiers? Yes, the producer tiers will still exist. So there's technically 6 tiers total, but we're just looking at it as the three main tiers are the ones that we're pushing. The producer tiers that's if you really are trying to support us and go above and beyond. So the 3 tiers there's kind of funny producer, kind of funny games producer, and executive producer. Executive producer gets you on all shows. Whereas kind of funny is just the kind of funny side of shows, kind of funny game side of shows.
No skeleton tier.
No skeleton tier.
Well, I mean, we've done the skeleton tier. It was a huge hit. We have 2 skeletons that will be making their debut at October 14th at the new studio. So that'll be fun.
And it's hard to explain this because it's such a weird technical thing, but like what's happening is the $10 tier is now ad-free and you can watch the stuff live. And then the $25 tier is all the exclusive bonus content. So post shows are gone. They're replaced by bonus shows. The bonus shows are no longer at $10. They are now at $25, but you're getting all of the shows we do ad-free and can watch live as we record it at that $10 level.
And I think there's 2 things to dive deeper in there, right? Because we do have one from Blue Light 39 who says, I'm not a big fan of the change. Basically, have to pay $15 more per month to have access to the KFG post shows, Kind of Feudy, Bless You, etc. And the idea here is that, the $10 tier has more content than ever before for you because it's both shows. It's everything. It's Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games. Watch live, watch ad free. And then the post show tier, that is this $25 thing. The idea there is, again, you're getting more content, right? You're getting a daily vlog from me every day. So that's your 5 right there. Then you have the Kind of Feudy, you have the different things, you have Next Gen Podcast, you have the AMA still up there, right? You have more content. But more than that, I think the big thing for me, and this is what we saw in the Patreon messages too, right? Is that the survey, that's what I'm looking for, is that the post shows you were getting before were hit and miss. Where you would get something like a Kind of Feudy that you love that goes on for an additional 30 minutes. And then you'd get me and Gary bullshitting for 3.5 to 5 minutes about something that was totally nonsensical. Not even nonsense, not even fun nonsense, just us bullshitting around, right? Was that good content? I make the content and I don't think it was. No. And I think it can be fun and that can be enjoyable, but was that a driving force? And so I think for one of the big reasons we're calling the $25 tier now access to these exclusive shows and not post shows is because post shows sound like we came off the real show with a towel around our neck and sat down and we're like, whew, well, the recap, like this is us doing something that's produced. Like you saw the logos that you saw in there. You saw the fact that like, remember blank, like we're coming out and having shows that have themes and are idea generators and are produced pieces of content. So I think to try to talk a little bit to Blue Light's comment and to what might be happening in the chat is the fact that these aren't post shows. These are things we're recording that are another show. And that's how we're wrapping our heads around it and how we're producing them and how we're not, oh, fuck, it's post show time. What have you been playing on your Steam Deck? Well, not that much, but I still, okay, but like, don't worry, Deck Boys is a show we'll do eventually. But like, that'll be a produced thing like PS I Love You that is, hey, here's what's going on. So that's the difference there where I understand the knee jerk of like, oh, well, that's a lot for shows I was already getting or something, but you're not getting those shows. These are going to be produced, let alone how they will look in the studio, which I know right now is something you have to take my word for.
Yep. 100%. And that's the thing too, is like, again, your patience is really appreciated as we get into the studio and make these changes and all of it. Like the goal is simplifying, the goal is making things work the way that they should. And I think we're getting really close to that. And I think that the next couple of weeks can be a lot of fun of figuring out the details of it all. But once we're in the studio, it's, I think, going to make more sense than ever of these changes, like making sense with the content that we're currently making and going to be making in the studio, which is really exciting.
Another one we've seen going around, there's a person in here, Vicious696. What happens to the part-time host? What happens to me? Oh, this is Paris. I see. What happens to the part-time host, Tim?
Nothing changes. Our plan is to be able to still make content with all the part-time hosts, with Janet and Paris and all of them. Gary as well, because he's here. For once we move into the studio, and we'll just have them call in different ways, and we're still figuring out a lot of the details there, but they do not worry. There's only good news. No one's leaving.
But
that we know
when Paris comes up here for October 14th, the marathon stream to celebrate the new KindaFunny studio, he will be getting spankings from me.
Hey, you don't have to make this weird.
He gets one for every episode.
You don't have to make this weird. Like, save that for your vlog, man.
You want to see me crash this car, kids?
I'm really excited for the vlogs. That was the one thing where I was just like, we're asking a lot from this, but if we can pull this off, it's going to be extremely exciting to just get that horrible dark hole energy from Greg every single day.
I'll be showing you the dark hole left and right in that car. Don't worry about it.
Great. Can't wait to see it.
Grant Burton says, do we still participate via Patreon links? Starting Monday, you will not. We'll have like specific redirects set up for participation links for all the shows.
Again, yeah, participation is not free. It's no longer paywalled on Patreon, so there will be standard links that'll go out for Gamescast and whatever. And I'd assume, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll probably post them on Patreon with a participation hashtag, but then it'll just be
it'll be the last one. There.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you guys have other questions, leave them in the chat.
Are we posting this written anywhere? I did see that. And I do see over here, Rappel saying, is there a comprehensive list of the bonus content we should expect at the $25 tier? Like, obviously, we just ran through it in the scripts. Is the script that we all did, but
there's a Twitter thread up right now that goes into more information, or not more information, same information. You guys are getting the most here.
Yeah.
But the Patreons will be updated in very soon, and all the information will be right there on the tiers themselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up they're already updated on Patreon, so you could go look at them now, and then I'm gonna put up a post with the VOD of this when, I guess it's up on YouTube right now, after this on Patreon, just to make sure everybody over there knows what's going on with some bullet points.
I've seen a couple of people say something to the extent of what Invisible Man 44 is saying here, saying, I imagine that most people straight up can't afford $25 a month. Will the bonus shows be posted later to YouTube or anything? There's no plan to post them to YouTube in the future. We'll see. Maybe one day we change our minds on that, but there's no plan. The plan is for them to be exclusive forever at this point. But I just want to say, not to incentivize this too much, but this is designed in a way, especially now we're trying to get everything in one post. You can sign up for 1 month, get the backlog, and then go back down to whatever you're financially comfortable with. If you ever decided that was worth it, we are going to put the work to make sure that the content is worth it. But yeah, if we don't expect you to hang out at that tier, if you can't do that, that's okay. But just know you can sign up once, get a whole backlog, and then bounce out. Totally cool.
Yeah, and I
wait
think for me,
100 Greg ways. Wait till I crash the car, and then you can. You need that. As soon as you hear I got in a car accident while doing the vlog, you go in. You're gonna have to download all those because those will be used in the court of law.
Yeah. I think too, a lot of people have said, or a few people have said, I feel like I'm only losing things at the $10 level. I also just want to remind you that like whatever $10 level you're at currently, you're also getting all of the other $10 level stuff from the other Patreon page. So if you are on games, you're also getting Kind of Funny podcast and interview. If you were on Kind of Funny Prime, you're also getting PS I Love You, Xcast, Gamescast, etc. So just as a clarification. What else? Oh yeah, Blind Gamer Steve says, are you doing YouTube memberships as well as Twitch subs? Yes, I can turn those on almost immediately right now, I think. The way that YouTube memberships are going to work, in order we tried to upload all of our emotes, but it's the same thing as Twitch, where like as you get more subs, you unlock more slots. So as we unlock more slots, we'll keep uploading more emotes and stuff there. So I think that we start out with 4, but we have all the same badges, everything. You'll get all your stuff depending on where you want to be.
Yeah. So like that's the thing is like, again, new era. We're about to be live in both places, YouTube and Twitch. And the goal is to have as much fun on both those platforms as possible. So we're trying to get all the goal would be that the emotes match each other on both the Twitch and YouTube thing. But because of back end stuff of them working differently, that might not always be the case, but that is the goal.
Hell yeah. I'm turning it on. It's on for Kind of Funny Games, and I'm about to turn it on for Kind of Funny Prime. Anything else we're missing?
J Matt Gator says, what about the daily streams? Will they be on both platforms as well? Yes, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames and youtube.com/kindoffunnygames every day.
A couple people have asked how live chats can be managed across both platforms. I imagine people are just gonna have both up.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably some sort of plugin that like shows them together or something like that. I feel like I've seen people use that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's very active.
I know.
DB Buckets, Kind of Funny versus Kind of Funny Games YouTube channels. Can you speak to that? There's 2 channels. One's for games, one for non-games.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is, honestly. Especially at this point, it's like we've always kind of looked at our channels as like 2 parts of the same whole, and I think that all the decisions that we're making now are like really, really driving that home even more than ever, especially on the Patreon side, because like the whole business is built off Patreon, so it's like the way that we do things on Patreon kind of like decides and dictates like how we run things on the different channels and stuff. So yeah, it really does fall down to, is it games content or is it not games content? And it's more organizing than anything else.
Gino, since Kind of Funny Plays is being discontinued, can I have the login for that one? You know that in 4 years we'll come out with a very similar video and be like, also, we're bringing back Kind of Funny Plays for whatever fucking reason, because obviously our entire business model and industry continues to shift, as you see over and over again.
X Rebel Spirit X says, what's going to be on the thermometer for the studio launch? Should I wait to sub on Patreon for then? We've got some real fun stuff on the thermometer. That is one that we're going to keep in our back pocket until the stream. We didn't want to like give you guys everything right now since it's a lot of overwhelming information. But we do have a really fun thermometer. I'm very excited about it. You can change your Patreon sub now if you want to, because everything that's changing is going to go towards the thermometer. So we'll just have like essentially a kickstart when we start the stream on the 14th. So we've got all the information for that, so you don't have to like hold it and wait.
Yeah, totally. So if you guys want to start supporting now, any new dollar for people subscribing to Patreon for the first time or upping their pledge at all in the month of October will go towards the Spare Bedroom Studio launch thermometer.
What else do we got?
People are asking about multi-streams and monetization, all that stuff. We will still have Twitch subs enabled and YouTube memberships and super chats and all of that. So however you guys want to support us, you can do that, and we will appreciate it. Even if you just watch free, we appreciate that as well. But now you can do it in multiple places.
Yeah.
And off of that too, one of the questions I keep seeing go through with the highlight is from Maui54. Weird one, but have you all considered giving Twitch subs and YouTube members some kind of perk?
Yeah, we have. And that's where the emotes and all those things kind of fall into play. This goes back to what I was saying about simplifying and figuring things out across platforms can be really difficult because of what each thing offers. And Patreon will always be our kind of like, this is where we're offering our exclusive stuff. And that's why there's a lot more attention put to that on the ad-free side, the live offerings, and then all the exclusive content. Whereas Twitch and YouTube, we're looking at more as like a distribution platform of like, that's where we are, that's where we're streaming, it's where you can watch the VODs. So we want to enhance the experience of that. So that's where the emotes and all that stuff come into play. But other perks and things like that are difficult to wrap our heads around. But if you have suggestions, please let us know, because we definitely want to add more value to all of this.
Grain of salt, trauma in review when. I think you and me would love that, and that's about it. Some Toxic Avenger 7.
A lot of people are asking what happens to our home setups when we go to the studio. They're staying.
Everyone's keeping their home setups for, I mean, the inevitable when people get sick at the studio, so we're not going into the studio, or for just inconveniently timed Nintendo press conferences, I'm sure.
Yeah, inevitably when someone ends up sick and we all have to work from home for a week. So yeah. We also have some fun merch stuff that's going to be dropping on the 5th. So just excited about that.
On the 5th is when that's dropping?
Yes, it's dropping early.
Nice.
Do we have even more merch that's dropping later in the month? Yes.
Very exciting stuff.
Do we want to tease any of that stuff?
Is my favorite thing out there?
Yeah, that's dropping on the 5th.
I'm gonna show it. You're
gonna show it?
Yeah.
Oh, Tim's gonna show it.
Slurpy Booty 420 says October 14th stream also live on YouTube.
Yes,
it is, right? Yeah, okay. Are we doing games on that one, Tim?
I'm not going to tease it. It's not in here, but it's the bomber jacket and it's beautiful, and I can't wait for you guys to buy it and see it.
Your TikToks from Summer Game Fest had it on. People flipped out about it.
Exactly.
So go to tiktok.com/@KindaFunnyGames and scroll until you find one that has that.
Sorry, you asked me something else?
We're simulcasting October 14th on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, right?
Yes. So the October 14th marathon stream debuting the studio will start at 10 a.m. and it'll be on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Those are the two places for sure. Nanosecond Gaming says, will you guys be streaming on TikTok as well? That's the goal. We want to. Baby steps right now, trying to figure this all out. I'm sure there's going to be a plethora of issues that come into this when we try multi-streaming for the first time. But the goal is to be in as many places as possible.
Arvel asked about Extra Life this year. We are still planning on doing Extra Life because it's so close to the studio launch stuff. It's not going to be that first weekend of November. It's going to be later in November, and it'll probably just be 12 hours since there's a lot of 24-hour things happening earlier. We're still figuring out the details of it. That first weekend, more ads. We are going to be like hosting. Well, we were going to host community streams, but then Twitch announced that they're getting rid of that. We're still working on things for Extra Life. It's really what it comes to.
Extra Life is happening. It will look different than years past. I think that's the easiest way, right? We're coming into the studio. We have a million things going, and we are all working really hard for October 14th. and then whatever will come throughout the rest of the month, and then to look to November and be like, what are we doing with Extra Life? We will do Extra Life. I have a feeling it'll be a more low-key Extra Life than years past.
Maybe we'll get back to the back rooms.
Kevin just giggling in the background, and but exhausted, giggling. Not real
what if we're just tired and we just don't? You know what I mean? What if we just?
But I mean, I think even this is why I love Kind of Funny, because we discuss it publicly, right? But what if we just did Kevin, to your point, Extra Life stream, the normal stream on a Friday? We're doing 3 hours, and then we have a schedule of the audience that we kick it to, our friends, and everybody else to go do it too. It's more of a team Kind of Funny thing than the big Kind of Funny thing, because we've just done the biggest Kind of Funny thing of our fucking lives. So maybe we, I think everyone will understand and throw us a bone there, and we'll all help everybody raise money, and I'll stream from home sometimes.
Yeah, possible. It's possible.
Nathan the viewer says you should stream to the Kind of Funny YouTube channel instead of games, because it's the one with more subs. The idea there is we're going to be streaming on Kind of Funny Games YouTube channel a lot more with Games Daily and the daily streams every day. So if we're going to be getting the juice and the memberships and all that, it's smarter to be on games instead of Kind of Funny Prime. Having said that, we are still figuring it out. We might also stream there, but we're making decisions on our
There was an excellent shot, Tim, that was just to thumb me in the eye, because they know it fucking drives me crazy that Nick's channel has more views or subscribers than my channel. That's what that might have been. All right.
I get it.
And you didn't need to engage with it. You didn't need to bring it up. But yeah, we're going to October 14th, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames gets more views than YouTube, or more subscribers than youtube.com/kindoffunny, or Nick dies trying. Will he be the person I hit with my car in the vlog? We'll find out.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be like Meredith from The Office.
Yes.
Abe Froman says, is Kind of Funny Day going to be October 14th going forward? No. The plan is for it to still be January 5th. But October 14th will be a very special day in all of our hearts.
We're still calling it October 14th, Kind of Funny Day.
Kind of Funny Day.
Yeah. But there will be a January 5th, 2023 Kind of Funny Day for you.
Copperwork says, speaking of Extra Life, hearing very little Rooster Teeth talk, are they still part of your business model? Oh, yeah. We are still partnered with Rooster Teeth. They handle merch. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We love them.
I know. Hopefully we'll get to do some more fun things with them, because I haven't seen a lot of those people in a hot second.
Red Devil says, if we don't have a preference for platform, which sub pays you all better, YouTube or Twitch? It is pretty much the same. So wherever suits you better, that's where we'd like you to support us. But Patreon's the best.
Josh Woody said, how long are you thinking the bonus shows will be? Same length as the old post-show versions or longer? Again, I want to move away from the post-show idea, in that these are their own shows and they are their own ideas. And that then makes me not want to speak out of church on any of them, because I think a Remember Me will be, or a Remember This game for PlayStation PS I Love You might be different than Remember This game for XCast. I think they'll both be different than what a Bless Who or a Kind of Feudy would be. I think those shows are going to find their own rhythm. The idea is, though, to give you a polished piece of content that has a point and that you're going to get into, and you hopefully listen to it and are like, oh man, that was great, and I'm glad I'm getting this. My vlogs are 5 minutes a day, so that right off the bat. So I think that covers, the random ass stuff we used to do on Games Daily. We'll see what goes on from there.
Cool. I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah.
Any last minute questions, y'all? Brandon H says, is in review on Friday is going to replace the daily stream? No. That's just it'll be during the same slot that we record all the podcasts. So you can watch it on Patreon at around 3 p.m. Pacific, and then on Monday it'll post at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
The Frog Knights says the bonus shows on the $25 tier, will they have live recordings and chat? No, they will not. They're going to be recorded separately.
I had something that I wanted to say, and now I can't remember.
Justin 34M says, how will y'all keep track of both chat feeds? Well, we will have both chats open.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just a thing in Restream.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, Restream has its own dedicated mixed in chat thing, which is really cool, because I think that shows you everything you're streaming at.
No, that's interesting. I was going to break them both out and have my screen. And then it's,
think,
you know, depending on the show, it's rare how much you pull from a chat. So we'd see how we go.
I think that's probably more for the
Mikey.
for the gameplay stuff.
And he'll just be like, "I jabroni." Nestor, not Nestor, said, "Sorry if it's a dumb question. There are no dumb questions here in this Kind of Funny town hall.
Only dumb people.
Say we do Patreon. How do you catch the shows live? Through Patreon? Correct. So when you basically would sign up at the $10 tier for all the live ad-free programming, you get a post every day that's going to be, hey, we're doing Kind of Funny Pod. We're doing PS I Love You XOXO at 3:15, and you'd have a live link for it that you could click on and then watch there. And then I think one of the things that people miss, but you get the hang of as you go, is the fact that after we're done recording it live, you could still come back to that post and click it and watch the archive of it there. So even if you didn't catch us live, you were asleep, you had a date, or you're at your job or whatever, you could watch it there before you get to the next thing. And then obviously MP3 post later.
And then I can't remember because my brain is like all over the place. Have we talked about the schedule that we're doing moving forward with like afternoon recordings and like?
We have not. I haven't heard that.
Well, I was just talking about it a little bit, but the afternoon record, pretty much every day has a podcast recording at around 3 p.m. Pacific, and then it'll post the next day at 6 a.m. for everybody, not on Patreon. But for In Review that records Friday, that'll be Monday.
Yeah, I feel like PS I Love You is really the only one that's like changing times significantly.
Yeah, it's gonna go up there to match everybody else and be right at 3:15 time.
Yeah,
there is one quick correction too. I talked about you being able to watch the archive whenever you want to, right after it's done being live for Patreon ad free. And Markov3 says, unless Greg shows his phone screen and they have to delete the VOD. Yes, when I accidentally dox myself, I will in fact take down the video, and you will have to wait for it. I apologize.
Predator Noir says, so screencast and In Review are live for everybody again. No. So In Review is going to be live for Patreon people on Fridays and then public to everyone on Mondays like normal, but not live, just when the VOD post. But screencast will be live for everybody, even if you're not on Patreon. So Games Daily and Screencast work differently than the other shows in that you can get them ad-free on Patreon, but getting them live, everyone just gets them live because the news is like breaking news. Obviously, you want it to as many people as possible to get it as fresh as possible. And with Screencast, majority of the time, it's us reacting to TV episodes, and that also is most valuable in that moment. So we want to be in front of as many people live as possible for that.
Hail Hayuga says, does Kind of Funny have any concerns that simulcasting could fragment the community? I'll answer, and I will say, no, absolutely not. We are already the most fragmented community I've ever seen in my life in terms of these people use the Reddit, these people use the community Facebook group, these people do this. I watch on YouTube. I watch only on Patreon. I only listen to MP3s. The idea here is something I would dial back to my IGN days. And I remember when I first started at IGN in like 2007, 2008, there was this, should we put our videos on YouTube? And the video team was like, no, we have IGN.com and we have our own video player. Why would we put them anywhere else? People will come to us, and people stopped coming to us. And we eventually made a YouTube channel because the idea is you need to be where your audience is. And so I've been blown away by the support to the YouTube live streaming and people popping in of like, I never watch on Twitch because I hate Twitch, which I didn't even know people hated Twitch this much. They're only there. So it's like, we want to be everywhere people are. It's like what Tim talked about with baby steps, right? Like, yeah, we want to be live streaming on TikTok eventually, and we want to be on the next platform that's live streaming, and there's an audience for it because we're trying to obviously grow and find other Kind of Funny best friends who don't know their Kind of Funny best friends yet. And that means you have to go to new places. Otherwise, it is the same group. And, you know, that while that's great, eventually you all get old and die. And I need young people in here. That's why I brought in Blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to give one update while we have some ears and stuff like that. The August platinum tier, because things have been so crazy with the studio launch, is going to go out with the September one in October. So you'll get them together if you're on both, or you'll get them around the same time if you're not. But just to give a heads up, you'll get them both. They'll be coming shortly.
JJ Baseball 21. For the afternoon game streams, will the bar be filled through both YouTube and Twitch support, or is it just going to be through Twitch subs in bits?
For the time being right now, it's just Twitch, but we are going to figure out a way to make it be both. But
if you want to go back and rewind the video, you'll find a part where I talk about growing pains and lean in. Like that's one of them, right? In terms of like, that's a brave new world for us too. And so we need to fill that out. As you just saw, Joey just turned on the ability to super chat or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, I don't even know what it's called. Not that that's surprised anybody. Like, those are the things we're figuring out as we go. And we do want your feedback for it, like how, you know, that would make sense or work one way or the other for you.
Yeah, memberships on YouTube get you the emotes and all that stuff. I think it's the $5 for. We only have one tier right now, just to keep it simple. And it's I'm blanking on what I'm saying, but they're cool. They're really cool stuff, guys. Yeah.
We tried to mirror them as closely to Twitch as possible, so there's no like difference or anything like that. Obviously, the emotes is the one part where that kind of falls apart based on how the system is set up, but they should be the same.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is you can gift subs as well for memberships on YouTube. They added that functionality not too long ago, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, we definitely want to figure out a way to get that to work with the daily gameplay stream bar.
Back to Mo54, right? My OG question was about making Twitch sub / YouTube members some kind of perk like Patreon, like bonus content. Have you all thought about that? We've thought about that for sure, but I think what is always important to come back to, and I'm not even trying to use that as an excuse, right, is that we're an 11-person company, so there's only so much our bandwidth can go in a different way, and I think that's why we look at Patreon as like, Patreon is the subscription platform. It is the way to get the content in the most pure form and get the most bonuses and stuff like that. Obviously, then you get into the different platforms like a Twitch, and I can't speak to YouTube because we're just starting to do it, but like Twitch, obviously, you know, using your Amazon Prime here for the gaming sub, you paying for a sub, right? There's the different perks there, of course, of, okay, well, you get ad-free viewing on Twitch, or, you know, like with what Andy's doing with KFFL, you can go ahead and be there. Like, those kind of in-platform perks are what we're using there, rather than saying, okay, well, the Greg vlogs will also be available on for YouTube chat or Twitch. Like, that is something that you could see happen one day in the future, whatever. But like right now, no, we can't stretch ourselves that thin, and that's why we're trying to drive you to Patreon. Let alone the fact that the $25 tier on Patreon is great, I think, or is a value, I should say, is a great value, because you're getting so much content out there. So if suddenly now we're going in there and parsing out bits of it and putting it into different spots, that's a weird equation that then everybody has to work through and do. We want it to be that you look at it and go, oh, well, clearly I'm getting a lot for this. I'm getting all these exclusive shows, let alone the fact that I'm also getting the ad-free viewing and the live watch-alongs and yada, yada, yada. But I have seen people be like, oh, well, that's too rich for my blood. And totally get that. It's your money. We want you to spend it how you want to spend it. And hopefully it means you'll support us at the $10 level and do whatever. But I totally get that and understand that. That's what we're putting as terms of, this is what we think this content is worth.
Yeah. And I think that builds into like the structure of how we did it all too, of like the $10, all of our like bread and butter core content, and like it's all in one spot. It's all together, versus when we had it before, it was like, well, you got some here and some here, and like it was a little bit disjointed, stuff like that. So
that PR guy says predictions and polls and giveaways will be harder, right? Well, let's take giveaways out of the sentence for a second real quick. Predictions and polls will be harder, right? I would say yes, and respectively, who cares? Who fucking cares? Like, you're right, aren't most of our polls like, who's gonna do whatever? And like, did Janet steal the banana? Like, it's like, whatever. It's like, occasionally, yeah, it's like, vote on what you think is gonna happen in this matchup, right? Or who's gonna win this, or is Greg gonna beat Mike, or yada, yada, yada. Bet your Twitch points. Like, I think that's predictions, right? That's pretty much, I'm speaking out of turn on YouTube, exclusive to Twitch, so whatever. And then for a poll thing, what's stopping Mike from making the poll over there too? And maybe, yeah, it pops on Twitch first for 30 seconds before it goes up on YouTube, but it does. Giveaways, how much do we do giveaways? That's one part of it too. But it's not, I'm not saying we don't do them at all, obviously, and I know we have a couple things coming up that are have a few giveaway things to it, but like, we'll work around that and we'll do the same thing and we'll figure it out on how it is.
Yeah, that's one of the like bullet points on my things to work on this week. Because yeah, we don't do giveaways that often usually.
Right now, there's a poll up, right? Will Greg crash his car? Yes, but on Twitch. No, but on Twitch. Yes, but on YouTube. No, but on YouTube. Other, but on Mixer. I like that. I'm gonna say yes, but on YouTube.
One thing that I've seen a lot of people asking, and it's just one of those things where we're just gonna have to try our best going forward, is where Screencast is going to be live, where Game Showcase Reactions is going to be live and all that. And the answer always should be, where should it be? What makes the most sense? And sometimes that hits a wall and there's an obstacle. Here's an example. Games Daily is from 10 to 11, right? And then the daily game stream is from 11 to whenever after that. If screencasts are recording at 11:30, it'll be live on youtube.com/KindaFunny, but it won't be on Twitch because the gameplay stream's on Twitch. So that's kind of like the way to think about it, is like the level of priority of the content, I guess, where screencasts would be the bottom of that. And then Game Showcase Reactions would always be the top. Like, those are the most important thing for us. So that will be supersede anything. And if a state of play is happening, we're going to be live reacting to that. And it will be on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. It makes sense if you think about it. It just it's a lot of like words, but it makes sense. I promise you.
Zombie High X23 says Patreon pins update. Those got sent out like a year and a half ago.
Jesus Christ, my heart stopped. I was like, those haven't gone out?
No, they were late, but they went out at like the end of 2020. So if you haven't gotten them and you're still waiting for them, you should email me.
The Flannel Death says, if
I don't even that's going to be a hunt for those wherever they are.
Yeah, Cameron Kennedy in the chat says, I got my pins a long time ago. Flannel Death says, if you're already at the $25 tier, the content you get's not changing, just the way it's distributed, correct? That is 90% correct. Like, yes, you don't need to do anything. You're going to be in the right place to get all this stuff. It's just there are some changes where there's no more post shows, but now they're bonus content, and it's similar but different. Better, much better.
Easier to find.
Mm-hmm.
No, we did not. No, we're not going to TwitchCon.
No TwitchCon. We got to get ready for the big day. How excited are y'all for this freaking launch, by the way?
Ooh, man, there are so many things that people are not ready for. And like, frankly, I wasn't ready for it either.
I don't want to say anything else.
Yeah.
The entirety of it.
Let's see. All right. I feel like we're pittering out here.
Pat with Ghost, did the Greg memo books go out yet? That's what you're talking about, Joey, right? That's going out with the other.
Those and the stickers are going to go out in October.
Virtual Lyrics says, I'll admit I'm a little confused about things, but I'm with you guys every step of the way. I'll just review all the info later. Thank you. That's the right attitude to have. Just trust us. We're doing our best, and it'll make sense in a couple weeks.
One of the things I saw was, since more people have joined late, could we run the video again to close it out? So if we're ready to close it, I think that might make sense. Also, Kevin, I put an asset's a great gift from Corey Cudney if you have the ability to show that, because Corey Cudney, of course, the gift master, and on top of everything already, he's somehow already gone through the video and edited something out to be fantastic. So you got to be proud of him.
I'll grab in 1 second, Greg.
Okay, no problem, Kev.
I might have hit a wall really hard.
You hit a wall?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like a real wall or like a metaphorical wall?
No, like a real wall. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Huh.
God bless him.
Joey Nano says, can you be sure to mod Twitch mods in the YouTube channels as well?
Let's see how to do this.
Yeah, I'll add that to
my list. Just put
hold on. I'm going to get this damn jacket. Before you do this, 1 second.
That's fine. Let me show the gift. You're fine.
That might be something I task Mike with.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just saying, like, let's put that on the to-do list or whatever.
No, I don't know about Mike. We should maybe task someone else.
You want to do it, Kev?
No. I'm saying someone, that's going to do it right. No offense, Mike.
I mean, Mike runs the Twitch streams. I'm sure he can figure out.
Jabermer123 says, how frequent are the bonus shows like Kinda Feudy? Kinda Feudy, and I believe this is in the video, but we did give you a lot of information, and then, of course, there's the breakdown on it. Kinda Feudy is going to be a weekly show. The Remember This Game PlayStation Edition, weekly. It'll be after PS I Love You that we knocked those out, right? XCast, Remember This Xbox Game, weekly. Greg's Vlogs, daily. The AMA, monthly. The Next Gen Podcast, monthly.
Shitlist weekly.
Shitlist, that was the other one too. Right.
So I did bring it up.
You guys are about to get an exclusive look. This is the new Kinda Funny bomber jacket that we're launching. It's really fucking cool. Tim, I need you to show them the inside, because honestly, that's my favorite part. It has this really cool, it's hard to see on camera, like it's like topography lining on it. It's this cool like tealy bluey color, and then the lines are like this like almost gold color. It's really fun. And then we have a new shirt dropping that is an Andy Cortez special. We don't get many of those these days in terms of merch.
People hate Andy.
But he designed a new shirt that will also be dropping on October 5th. We also have like a whole separate super rad collection dropping at the end of October with some other Rooster Teeth stuff. It's really fun. It'll be
very cool stuff.
October 5th. I feel like it usually drops at like 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. Give or take.
So guys, I love this jacket, and like at some point it is just gonna become the Tim Geddes outfit, like cartoon character. Like this is what I'm always wearing because it's perfect. Like this blue is perfect. Everything about it, the orange just pops. It's hot.
Yeah.
The lightness of the jacket is good too, because I also have one,
dude.
And it's like it's perfect for like a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very excited. Do you want me to pull this GIF up again, or
did we talk about it? Did we ever see it? Did they see it?
They saw it, but I can see it.
Okay, they saw it now. It's fine. Great job, Corey. Blind Gamer Steve says, if you can get me a new bomber jacket, I will wear it and represent it at TwitchCon. So.
Oh, TwitchCon's tight turnaround. That's like next weekend.
My dog Nick 96 says there could be a graphic of a week's schedule explaining the shows. I love that, and that is the goal and the plan. My thing is, I want to wait till we're in the studio. I have a feeling a lot of scheduling things might change once we're like there and understanding like what production time takes for shows that is different than our work from home setup. So I'm trying to not put information out there to the masses until it's ready to go and confirmed, which is really hard these days. But I appreciate the patience. We will do that at some point. We're just not quite there yet.
Okay.
Cool. Let's play it one more time.
We're still streaming games and stuff. Mike's coming in, but yeah, you want to watch this video one more time before we close it out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Give me 1 second.
Kevin needs 1 second. So I say, how you doing over there?
Might have deleted it there.
I say, how you doing over there?
Thank you guys for being awesome. And we can't wait for this stream. Honestly, the studio launch is going to be the dopest thing we've ever done. And I can't wait for everyone to be hanging out and chat and reacting to it all.
For sure.
All right, we're ready to rock and roll. You want me to hit that button?
Yep.
Let's see if it all works right.
In just a couple of weeks, KindaFunny will be taking by far our biggest step yet when we debut the Spare Bedroom, the new KindaFunny Studios.
We're celebrating the reveal with an all-day marathon live stream starting at 10 a.m. Pacific on Friday, October 14th on both twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, featuring all of KindaFunny together for the first time in almost 3 years, as well as tons of special guests, including Carl Jacobs, James and Elise Willems, Cisco, and many more.
We know we're about to have more eyes on us than ever. So before we get to the biggest day in KindaFunny history, we wanted to give you all some really exciting updates on how our schedule, programming, and Patreon are all going to work moving forward. All with the goal of making it as simple and easy as possible for y'all to support us wherever and however you prefer to support. Let's start with the big one.
Going forward, KindaFunny Games Daily and our daily gameplay streams will be live on both twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. If you can't catch them live, both will be available after as VODs on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. We're in the process of getting all the Twitch emotes over to YouTube as well, so you can use them with YouTube memberships and super chats.
And if that wasn't big enough, we have some huge news for Patreon that you've all been waiting for.
We're officially combining the function of both patreon.com/KindaFunny and patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames into one simple offering. Going forward, there will be 3 main tiers that get you all KindaFunny and KindaFunny Games content in one place, with either page getting you the exact same things.
The $10 tier is ad-free and live show recordings. This gets you ad-free audio and video versions of the KindaFunny podcast, KindaFunny Games Daily, Gamescast, PS I Love You XOXO, Xcast, In Review, and Screencast. And it allows you to watch live as we record the episodes.
The $25 tier is exclusive exclusive bonus shows. In addition to ad-free and live recordings, this tier gets you exclusive access to our awesome new suite of bonus content, including multiple monthly, weekly, and daily exclusive shows. Each month, you will get a new episode of the Kinda Funny Next Gen podcast with Blessing, Roger, and Barrett, and a new episode of KFAMA, where 2 members of the KF crew answer whatever questions you throw at them.
Each week, you will get a new episode of The Shit List, where Blessing and Tim go over lists from the internet and judge them. A new episode of KindaFunny, the hit sensation game show featuring the Gamescast crew, and 2 new episodes of Remember Blank, a new show where each week someone brings an old game to the table to reminisce about it. Finally, we are extremely excited to announce Gregway, the daily Greg Miller vlog.
That's right. Each and every weekday, me, Greg Miller, will be doing a vlog for 5 minutes about whatever it is I want to talk about. Sometimes I'll go off the questions you asked from the last vlog. Sometimes I'll just rant. I'm thinking I bought a little car mount where I think I'm going to put it in the car. That way, like when I'm driving to the office, I can do it. But like, not an illegal, I'm going to get a car accident away, but maybe I get in a car accident. Don't you want to see that?
And at the exclusive bonus shows tier, a lot of people have been asking for an easier way to find all of the old KindaFunny episodes. So we uploaded all of them to one post on Patreon, so you can go support and get all of the old episodes in one place right now. The final main tier is the $50 premium collector's item. This tier gets you every show ad-free with live recordings, all the exclusive bonus shows, and a monthly physical collector's item like an art print or a t-shirt.
We have something super special planned for October, but we're waiting to reveal that until we reveal the studio. We wanted to make sure we explained what is happening to the old tiers we're getting rid of. The $5 tier is going away because now participation in questions for shows will be available free to everyone. No Patreon required. And anyone currently at the $1 tier will be grandfathered in to still get a new KindaFunny AMA each month.
Now let's talk programming. The biggest scheduling change is starting now, In Review will record live for Patreon supporters Friday afternoon and then post the following Monday. This will allow each weekday to have its own new show dropping at 6 a.m. Pacific for you to watch or listen to, with In Review on Monday, KF Podcast on Tuesday, XCast on Wednesday, Gamescast on Thursday, and PS I Love You XOXO on Friday.
To wrap this up, we wanted to ask you for your help spreading the word for some answers to questions people are going to be asking in the next few weeks. It's very difficult to get the nitty-gritty details out there to everyone. So, if you all could help us by answering these frequently asked questions, if you see them pop up, it would be very helpful.
One small change is for now, we will no longer be uploading to the KindaFunny Plays YouTube channel. And now all KF streams will be uploaded to the main youtube.com/KindaFunny Games channel, where it'll also be live streaming in addition to Twitch. A lot is changing, so please be patient with us as we figure this new world out with the changes to where we're live streaming, our Patreon offerings, and of course, the new studio. The next couple weeks will have modified schedules as we get ready for launch.
Specifically, there will be no new content October 11th through the 13th. Expect growing pains. I cannot stress this enough.
In addition to this, because Kevin is going to be so involved in production at the studio, he's going to be retiring from being a regular cast member of In Review. Of course, he will always be welcome to join whenever he wants to.
But for now, his jersey is going to the rafters. Joss Whedon. Oof, that was not the note.
Next up, the KindaFunny Live studio launch party is indefinitely postponed, and the event on October 14th is not open to the public. Our goal is 100% to throw awesome live events in the spare bedroom, but we aren't quite ready for that yet. Also, we will be doing the KF Up-and-Comers, the basketball event, an episode of Cooking with Jen, and the Winging It with Greg and Josh pilot all next year, thanks to your support on the KF Day thermometer back in 2020 and that whole global pandemic thing.
Speaking of the KindaFunny Day thermometer, any new or upgraded supporter on Patreon in the month of October will go towards the thermometer we're debuting during the October 14th launch stream. So, no worries about having to wait. We will just start the stream with a head start towards our goals.
We know this is a lot to take in, but the most important takeaway is how excited we are for you all to see the spare bedroom. Between streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, simplifying our Patreon to be the best it's ever been, and launching the new studio, there has never been a better time to be a KindaFunny best friend. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything.
And we'll see you.
And we will see you on October 14th.